The hero of our story today is Iki Kurogane, but because his name is a bit long and difficult, we'll just call him Iki. Iki is a student at a school for people with supernatural powers and non-human abilities. Our hero, Iki, lives alone in the school dorm. He doesn't have anyone, poor guy, until one day, he was outside his dorm, watching someone practice running. When he goes back, he's shocked to enter his room and find a girl with red hair standing in front of him, wearing only her underwear. As soon as the girl sees him, she screams, slaps him, and the school headmistress calls him in. She tells him, "You rude man. You watched a girl changing her clothes." He replies, "She's the one who brought it here, madam." She says, "Fine, you were wrong. Go on, apologize to the girl." As soon as the girl enters, Iki approaches her, bows his head, and says, "We apologize, mademoiselle." The girl gets a little shy and says, "It's fine, don't worry about it. I'll just give you a small punishment. I'll plunge my sword into both your eyes because you saw me in my underwear." He asks her, "Why, madam? You'll blind me just because I saw a naked woman?" And she wasn't even fully naked, only half naked. The girl gets extremely angry at him and says, "What are you saying? Does that mean it's normal when you see my body like this?" She starts yelling at him, looking like she's about to grab him and beat him up. She says, "I'm going to finish you off because you entered my room, saw me like this, and sexually harassed me, too." He says, "What, my dear? Who's the one harassing whom? Are you just throwing accusations around?" When he realizes she's serious about fighting him, and the headmistress will also punish him if anything happens, he quickly smooths things over. He tells her, "Excuse me, cutie. The reason I couldn't take my eyes off you is that you are honestly stunning and beautiful." The girl gets shy and calms down completely. Everything settles down, and she says, "It's fine, I forgive you." Collision, the duel, and the roommate. The school headmistress introduces Iki to the girl and tells him her name is Stella. She says, "Stella will be your roommate starting today, and you two will live together." Iki asks her, "But, headmistress, aren't two people of the same rank supposed to be in the same room? My rank is F, and her rank is A. I am leagues weaker than her in the classification." Stella is shocked and says, "Are you that weak?" He replies, "No, I'm not weak. I failed last year and caused trouble, so that's why my rank is F." The headmistress tells him, "I'm sorry, Iki, but we couldn't find anyone else, and I decided to pair you two together. So, that's final." Stella tells Iki, "Listen, if you're going to live with me, you need to focus on these three things. First, don't look at me. Second, don't talk to me. Third, don't even breathe." Iki says, "What are you saying? You want me to die? Just let me breathe at least." She says, "Yes, my brother. You want to smell my scent, you pervert, you trash. Shame on men like you." The headmistress interrupts them and says, "I'm telling you two, you are not in a nursery here. I suggest you two engage in a fight, and the winner gets to fulfill a request from the loser." Stella and Iki agree, and the headmistress tells them that this is a simulated battle, so no one will get hurt or injured. "Don't worry. I want you to unleash all your power. Get ready now. Come down to the arena in an hour." Stella tells Iki, "How about this, the winner gets to have the loser live as their dog and servant for the rest of their life." Iki says, "Not that extreme." She says, "No, I insist." He says, "Fine, let's do it." They get ready, and each prepares themselves. Both go down to the arena. As soon as the fight begins, Stella pulls out her sword and immediately starts attacking Iki, who keeps blocking her blows. Stella is dominating him and keeps striking him with her sword, but he manages to block her attacks until he starts attacking her back. Stella is shocked that he knows how to attack her. He tells her, "This is my sword technique, I can see my opponent's movements. I've already memorized your movements and attacks." He starts attacking her, and a very intense fight ensues between them. We notice that Iki's power keeps increasing during the fight. Stella is shocked. He tells her, "This is another feature of my power, the longer I fight, the more my strength grows. But the downside is that it really hurts my body and makes me exhausted." After a few good blows, Iki finally manages to land the knockout blow on the empty spot, and the girl faints from the shock. Iki wins, and he also falls down, having passed out. The headmistress announces the winner of the fight. Sparkling heart confessions and a small request. Later that day, Iki is at the school hospital where Stella is resting. The headmistress comes in to check on her. Stella asks her and says she still can't believe she was defeated by someone with the lowest rank in the school. The headmistress tells her, it's not about the rank, because the ranks don't only depend on power, they also depend on studies, behavior, and ethics. But if we're talking about supernatural and physical strength, I want to tell you that you and Iki are very powerful, and you will achieve great things together. After Stella finishes talking with the headmistress, she goes to her room and finds Iki sleeping in the bed with his back exposed. She gets curious and wants to touch his back because it strongly attracted her, and also because she had never touched a man's back before. She starts touching and stroking his back, but Iki turns his body, and her arm gets trapped underneath him. She can't pull it out. She keeps trying to pull her arm out until he wakes up and finds her in a completely inappropriate position. He says, "What is going on?" Stella gets embarrassed and is about to explain the situation when she hits the ceiling of the bed frame. Iki puts a medical patch on her and realizes it was a misunderstanding. Iki tells Stella, "Are you ready to be my servant?" As agreed. Stella says, "What? Your servant? I bet you have all sorts of perverted desires and will do bad things to me." Iki says, "Ah, so that's it. Because you're a rich girl and your father spoiled you, you can't keep your word." She gets angry at him and says, "Watch your words. We are very strong, by the way, and I will keep my word, and I will live as your dog and servant." Iki says, "No, not a servant or anything. I'll just ask you for a small favor." She says, "Go ahead, you rude person." He says that all he asks is for them to be normal roommates and live a normal life. Stella gets extremely shy. Iki tells her, "It's okay, if you're shy, or if you don't want me with you in the room, I'll sleep outside on the street, it's fine." She says, "No, I agree," and she extends her hand to him. He extends his hand to her, and they agree to be friends and partners. Martial arts uniform Iki's sister and the samurai. The next day, Iki takes Stella, and they go down to practice and do some exercises together. We notice that their relationship has improved a lot since the beginning. They go to school and attend class. Their teacher informs them that the most important combat festival in the school, the 7 Stars Battle Festival, will take place in 1 week. This is like their exams. She tells them that they will enter one-on-one battles until they ascend levels and their combat rank increases. She tells the students, "Work hard, guys, and do your best." The class ends, and Iki takes Stella, and they leave the school. As they walk, a girl runs up to Iki and clings to him, telling him, "I'm one of your fans," and so on. It turns out the girl is a school journalist. As soon as Stella sees the girl clinging to Iki, she gets annoyed and walks away. Iki runs after her, but he hears a girl calling out to him. When he looks, he sees that the girl calling him is his sister, whom he hasn't seen in ages. His sister's name is Shizuku. She is younger than him, and new to the school. When he sees her, he is happy, and she is happy to see him too. She starts approaching him and talking to him. He asks her what brought her to the school. She tells him that she missed him since he left home, and she kept looking for him until she found his location and joined the school because she also has supernatural power. Stella is extremely jealous and annoyed with Iki's sister because she is getting very close to him. She tells Shizuku, "Stay away from him." Shizuku tells her, "And who are you? And on what authority are you interrupting a sister's relationship with her brother?" Stella boldly tells her, "On the authority of being his servant," and she says this while embarrassed. An argument breaks out between them, and suddenly, they both get angry at each other, pull out their weapons, fight each other, and destroy the school with them. The headmistress catches them and punishes them, making them clean all the school bathrooms for 2 weeks. After Iki and Stella finish cleaning and leave, another fight breaks out between them, and they exchange insults. Shizuku tells Stella, "Don't try to make it look like you understand my brother and are closer to him than me, because you don't know anything about him." Stella tells her, "What do I not know?" She tells her, "It's none of your business." Stella gets angry at her. She tells her, "For example, do you know how my brother felt when everyone left him and he was alone?" And she walks away, leaving her. Stella keeps wondering, what does she mean by that, but she doesn't want to reply to her. Stella goes to Iki and asks him herself. When she asks him, Iki is shocked and realizes that Shizuku told her. He sits with her and says, "I was going to tell you anyway because you are my partner and friend, and you need to know everything about me. Look, before anything else, do you know a samurai named Ryoma? She says, oh, of course I know him. He's one of the strongest people in the world and the one who led Japan to victory in a previous war. He says, yes, that's him. That person raised me and is my role model. Look, the story began when I was little. My whole family had supernatural powers and weapons, and they were very strong, except for me. My abilities were weak, and they would make fun of me and never stop bullying me. None of them cared about me, and no one even considered me to exist. Until one day, I decided to run away from home. On the road, I couldn't keep walking because of the cold and the snow. I was about to fall and die from the cold until an old man appeared, Samurai Ryoma. As soon as the samurai saw me, he said, "What's wrong with your face? It's covered in mud. What's wrong, son? You look like a wet chick. It looks like the whole world is against you." He picked him up and said, "Don't surrender to your weakness, and strengthen your resolve." He took him and walked away. Ikki tells Stella, "That's it. And that's why I want to be like him, because he is very strong and gives people hope and purpose in life. That's why I entered this school, even though my days here are awful, and I've failed several years. But it's okay, I'll succeed this year, God willing." Stella starts to be attracted to Ikki and tells him, "I will support you and have your back, you pervert." He says, "All right, my lady." Broken Heart Shizuku's sadness and the ambush. We move to Ikki's sister, who is in her room. It turns out she has a partner named Nagi. Shizuku is talking to Nagi about her brother and how much she loves him, and how she was very worried and concerned about him even after he left home. She keeps talking to him about her love for her brother and then tells Nagi, "I'm sorry if I bored you." He tells her, "It's fine, don't worry. You can continue talking. I'm actually happy that you feel comfortable talking to me and expressing what's inside." The next day, Ikki and Stella are on their way to school, talking normally about the battle they will have in the 7 Stars competition. But suddenly, Stella tells Ikki, "Ikki, how about you and I go out on a date?" In the middle of her sentence, she sees a message arrive for Ikki from his sister, telling him that if he is free tomorrow, he should meet her, and they will go shopping for a few things together. As soon as Stella finds out, she gets extremely angry. The next day, Ikki takes Stella with him, and they meet his sister, Shizuku, who has brought Nagi with her. Shizuku tells Stella, "What are you doing here, daddy's girl?" Stella tells her, "I'm sorry, my dear, but I'm your brother's servant, and I have to go with him everywhere." Ikki gets introduced to Nagi, as he didn't know him, and they start becoming friends and getting to know each other better. They enter the mall together and walk around. They go to a restaurant and eat together. Ikki notices a spot of food on Shizuku's face, so he wipes it off. Stella gets jealous and also puts a spot on Shizuku's face. But instead of a spot, it looks like she put shaving cream on her chin. Stella then tells Ikki, "Ikki, could you please remove this spot for me, just like you did for Shizuku?" Ikki says, "God forbid. What is this?" "Wait, madam, I'll find you a barber shop. I'll get a towel to wipe your chin." He walks away and enters the bathroom, and Nagi follows him. Ikki thanks Nagi and tells him, "Thank you, man. This is the first time I've seen my sister open up to someone and talk with them like this." Nagi tells him, "It's fine, man, honestly. Shizuku is exactly like my little sister. And you are exactly as your sister described you, kind and innocent. And that's why the same thing will happen to you. Or no, never mind." Suddenly, they hear the sound of people running toward them. It turns out they are a gang of sorts, carrying weapons. They break down the bathroom door and start shooting everywhere until they say there is no one in the place and leave. It turns out that Ikki and Nagi were hiding in a gate of darkness that Nagi opened. Ah yes, Nagi's power is darkness, and he can control shadows. They agree that these people are definitely bad news, so they head out. They go to the surveillance room and find that all the security personnel and guards have been killed. They see that these people are holding everyone in the mall hostage, and it looks like they want something from them. They rush towards them. We go to Shizuku and Stella, who are among the hostages. One of the gang members is about to kill a small child. Stella loses control and rushes out to block the blow that would have killed the child. The leader of the gang comes out to face her and says, "Oh, you have supernatural power." He then grabs 6 hostages and tells her, "Come at me, you brave girl." Stella gets extremely angry and attacks him with all her might, but he defeats her and throws her to the ground. He tells her, I might not kill you right away. I might let these people live, and the credit will go to you. If you want these people to stay alive, take off all your clothes, one by one, right now, in front of all of us. Stella is extremely embarrassed, and she has no other choice. Ikki and Nagi are watching, and Ikki is furious, wanting to go out and beat the man up. But Nagi calms him down and tells him that if he goes out, he will put the lives of the hostages at risk. Indeed, Stella starts taking off her clothes one by one until she reaches her underwear. The man tells her, "What's this? Why did you stop? Go on, continue." Ikki can't take it anymore and is about to rush out, but Nagi grabs him and tells him, "Calm down and trust in her." Suddenly, Shizuku, who had been preparing a spell the entire time, manages to create a shield with her power to protect the people. This works, and Shizuku succeeds, telling Ikki, "Come on, brother, I put my trust in you." Ikki indeed rushes out and starts attacking them. He runs towards their leader with all his speed and power, cuts off his arm, and then defeats the soldiers. This is how they get rid of that mess. As soon as Ikki sees Stella, he runs to her, hugs her, and tells her he is sorry for leaving her exposed for all that time. He keeps apologizing to her. She tells him, "It's fine, Ikki, honestly." But suddenly, they find that one of the gang members is still alive. She grabs a woman and tells them to give back their leader, and she will let her go. But suddenly, a person they don't know enters. He kills her leader and then kills her too. This boy's name is Kirihara. We notice that he is very strong, and it turns out that he knows Ikki. He says to him, "Hey, failure, how are you doing?" When they are outside, Ikki goes to Kirihara and asks him, "Why did you come here?" He says, "What's wrong, my boy? Why are you talking like that? Snap out of it, my dear. I'm in the second year, and you are still a boy failing in the first year. Besides, you are a failed boy, weak, and hated by everyone. So, talk to me normally, and don't forget that you withdrew from facing me last year in the 7 Stars competition, and you became a coward, acting like a little child. Did you not see the notification on your phone or what?" And indeed, a message was sent to Ikki, saying that Ikki's first battle in the 7 Stars competition will be against Kirihara. Kirihara says, "Surprise, isn't it? Glowing Star, the first victory and the clash of swords." The day of the competition arrives, and Stella is also going to fight someone. Even before their fight begins, as soon as the person against her notices that she is very strong and will defeat him, he withdraws before the battle even starts. Stella wins her first battle. We go to Ikki, who is on the opposite side of the arena, facing Kirihara. He is worried and afraid, but Stella comes and sits with him for a while and calms him down. Ikki congratulates her on her first victory. She starts giving him some advice for his fight. Finally, Ikki heads to the battle arena, and the fight begins. The battle is equal in blows at first until Kirihara starts overpowering Ikki. He keeps shooting at him with his weapon, literally piercing his body. Stella is shocked by what is happening. While defeating Ikki, Kirihara starts making fun of him and even makes all the audience make fun of him, calling him the failure. Stella can't stand the sight and gets angry. She yells at the top of her voice for all these people to shut up. She tells them not to mock her favorite knight. She keeps shouting at Ikki, saying, "What are you doing? Are you going to surrender to someone like this? Wake up, Ikki. I love you when you are strong, and hold your head high." Ikki stands up, hits himself, and says, "Sorry, Stella. Your speech encouraged me greatly." He starts studying Kirihara's blows from the hits and shots he has taken. He has memorized everything and begins to dodge Kirihara's shots. Kirihara is shocked and starts to worry about him. Kirihara keeps striking, but Ikki blocks or evades literally every blow. Ikki gathers all his strength and, with everything he has, rushes towards Kirihara's location. As soon as Kirihara sees that Ikki is about to finish him, he starts crying, screaming, and begging him not to kill him. Just before Ikki brings his sword down on his head, he spares him and tells him, "I will leave you like this so that everyone can mock you, and they don't forget what happened." Kirihara is shocked, crying, and passes out. Ikki wins, and his friends and sister are extremely happy about his victory. Ikki himself passes out and wakes up in the hospital to find Stella asleep on his bed, drooling on him. She never left him and stayed by his side all night. Sparkling Heart, a confession in a new relationship. When she wakes up and realizes that Ikki was watching her drool on his bed, she gets angry at him. She keeps saying, "Why did you look at me while I was like that," and wants to beat him up. But Iki tells her, "Calm down, crazy Stella. I want to tell you something. Look, Stella, simply put, I love you." As soon as Stella hears this, she is shocked, and her face turns red. She then does that typical girl move and whispers, "I love you too. Close your eyes now." Iki says, "What? Are you going to slap me or something?" She tells him, "No, just close them." He does so, and she kisses his cheek. They hug each other. Stella tells Iki that she loves him very much and never wants him to leave her. Iki tells her, "I love you too, and I will never leave you. So, let's forget about all that ordeal." We now know that Iki and Stella are officially in a relationship. 2 weeks pass, and during these 2 weeks, Iki and Stella have entered battles in the competition and won them. They are ascending and getting closer to the finals. We find that girls are becoming attracted to Iki. Also, because people know that he is strong, especially in sword fighting, people have started coming to him to train them. Iki is doing this every day, training a large group of students, including his sister, Nagi, and the journalist girl, except for Stella, whom he doesn't train because she uses techniques in a combat style different from his. He tells her that if he trains her, it will negatively affect her. Handshake a new friend in a new threat. Iki and Stella are spending time together, and they receive a message that their next opponents in the Seven Stars Festival will both be from the Student Council. It is known that the Student Council members are very strong, so they say, "May God help us." Indeed, the time for each of their training and battles comes. Contrary to expectations, Iki and Stella both succeed in defeating the Student Council member they face. Everyone is shocked by this, though it seems these two members were among the weakest of the Student Council, which is why they were quickly defeated. When Iki and Stella finish their battles, they go for a walk with their group, heading towards their dorm. But suddenly, Iki notices that someone is watching them. Not only that, but he has been feeling this sensation for a few days. He asks Nagi, "Do you feel what I feel?" Nagi says, "What? You noticed too?" Iki then tells the person walking behind them, "Show yourself now and tell us what you want." The person behind them is shocked and extremely embarrassed, and they come out. It turns out to be a girl. In her embarrassment, she falls into a puddle of water. Iki and the group take her and escort her to the hospital. As soon as the girl wakes up, she thanks them and apologizes for the trouble. Iki tells her, "It's fine, don't worry. But why are you covering your face?" She says, "I'm embarrassed, and I'm not used to talking to boys or looking them in the eye." He says, Okay. Anyway, what is your name?" She tells him that her name is Ayase Ayatsuji. He says, "Wow, are you the daughter of the great man, Ayatsuji, the samurai who won all the Japanese fencing championships?" She says, "Yes." He says, "Oh my God, I am one of his biggest fans. When I was young, I used to watch him all the time. It's truly wonderful that I get to meet his daughter. By the way, where is he? He has been missing and hasn't appeared on screens for some time." She tells him, "My father entered a duel and suffered a very serious injury, and he is in the hospital." He says, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't know. May God heal him." She says, "Don't worry about it." Shizuku interrupts them and asks her, "Why were you following Iki?" She says that all she wanted was to train under Iki, but because she doesn't know how to talk to boys or deal with them, she couldn't talk to Iki. Iki says to her, "So, you've been following me for about a week just so I can train you?" She says, "Yes, see." He says, "Okay, sure. Our appointment is tomorrow morning at school." This is indeed what happens. Iki trains Ayase and teaches her many things, including not trying to follow in her father's footsteps entirely. That is, she can imitate him in some things, but not everything. The most important thing is that her personal touch is present. Warning, a warning and a surprising matchup. While Iki is training Ayase, Stella is standing by, clearly annoyed and jealous. When the school day ends, the whole group goes out together, and we notice that Ayase has started to blend in with the rest of the group, even if only slightly. When night comes, we go to Iki and Stella's room. Stella is very annoyed and upset. She wakes Iki up, and Iki understands from her looks that she is jealous and upset that he is talking to Ayase so much. He tells her, "Don't worry, Stella, I'm just training her. You know that my heart only holds one person, and that is you, my princess." Stella feels a little relieved by his words, and the sadness leaves her face. The next day comes, and Ayase invites Iki and Stella for a substantial meal at a restaurant so they can talk together. Suddenly, a strange gang enters the restaurant and goes straight to Ayase. They tell her, "What is this, Ayase? What are you doing here? We haven't seen you in a long time." Ayase is extremely embarrassed and refuses to answer them. One of them tells her, "Answer, girl. Is our boss transparent to you or what?" Iki steps in and says that she is annoyed and doesn't want to talk to them. The guy tells him, "Who are you, pretty boy? Do you just want to make a scene, or is it one of these two girls?" But the gang leader notices that Iki is a swordsman and is strong. He asks him, "Are you a swordsman?" Iki says, "Yes." He says, "All right, wait a minute." He comes back with a bottle of soda, pours him a glass, and says, "Sorry, teacher, for the inappropriate entrance. Here, calm your nerves." As Iki is drinking, the leader smashes the bottle over his head. He then mocks him and says, "Oh my god, you claim to be a strong swordsman, and you couldn't even block a blow like this." Stella gets very angry, but Iki tells her, "Calm down, Stella. It just slipped out of his hand, that's all. We don't need to provoke the man." The gang leader tells him, "If you're a man, and your father is a man, pull out your weapon and come fight me now, come on." Iki doesn't respond to him. They start saying that he looks weak and cowardly. "Let's not beat up a weak person, the matter won't be enjoyable." The gang leader spits and leaves. Stella is angry at Iki and tells him, "How could you let them do that? And why didn't you dodge the blow with the bottle in the first place?" Iki tells her, "Simply because I didn't want to destroy this poor man's restaurant, and also because if we use our power in places that are not designated for it, we will be expelled from school." Suddenly, two student council members appear and say, "Iki, you are right. We were actually in the restaurant from the beginning, and if anything had happened, you would all have been expelled from school. That one is very, very strong and is known by the nickname Sword Eater. Don't get close to him or deal with him." Iki, Stella, and Ayase are walking home, and Stella suddenly asks Ayase, "Who were those people, and what did they want from you?" Ayase seems unwilling to answer. Iki tells her, "Don't be afraid, friend. We are only asking because we are worried about you and want to help you." But suddenly, a message is sent to all of them, mentioning both Iki and Ayase. When they open the message, they are shocked. Their next battle in the 7 Stars competition will be against each other. Yes, everyone. The next battle will be between the two of them. As soon as Ayase sees the message, she runs out and goes to the location of the gang leader who smashed the bottle on Iki's head. She notices he is thinking about her. She confronts him and asks what he wants from her, or what he is planning. The next day, Iki is standing with Nagi. While they are talking, he receives a message from Ayase, which reads, "Come meet me at 3 a.m. on the school rooftop." Iki shows the message to Nagi, and Nagi tells him, "Be careful, because I don't trust this situation." Iki says, "No, man. Ayase isn't trouble. She's too shy to talk to boys." Indeed, 3 a.m. arrives, and Iki goes up to the rooftop and finds Ayase waiting for him. She gives him a sinister smile. Iki stands opposite Ayase and asks her, "What do you want from me?" She tells him, "Look, Iki, no beating around the bush. Look at this." She pulls out her weapon, cuts the fence behind her, and jumps off it, the crazy girl. Iki activates his power and dashes at full speed to save her, to the extent that he destroys a part of the building they were on. As soon as he lands, he asks her, "Why did you do that?" She starts laughing, and Iki says, "No, don't tell me what I'm thinking." She replies, "It is exactly what you're thinking." It turns out that Ayase tricked Iki into activating his power to save her, and because he activated it, he won't be able to use it again for 24 hours. That's not the problem. The problem is that the battle between him and Ayase is in 10 hours, meaning Iki is literally going to be crushed. Iki asks Ayase, "Why are you doing all of this? What will you gain?" Ayase tells him, "Forget about me. The most important thing is that I win and achieve the goal I want." She walks away, leaving Iki, who passes out from the shock. He wakes up to find himself in the hospital, surrounded by all his friends. Suddenly, the school headmistress enters and says, "Come here, Iki, I want a word with you." When he goes to her office, she asks him, "What exactly happened in that building outside the school?" Iki says, I'm sorry, but I can't tell you, but I will bear whatever punishment you give. I just have one small question I want to ask you. She says, go ahead. He says, I want to know some information about Ayase, the daughter of Ayatsuji. She replies, just that? My pleasure. She informs him that Ayase's father was defeated 2 years ago by the person we know well, who is called Sword Eater. The reason for the fight was that Sword Eater had formed a gang and was harassing people and challenging and defeating the strong. Ayase's father finally challenged him. He challenged him that the loser would leave his house and would never kill again. This is exactly what happened. Sword Eater successfully defeated Ayase's father right in front of her eyes and evicted her and her father from their house. This is what caused her father to have a psychological breakdown and stay in the hospital for 2 years. His daughter wants to take revenge for her father and get their house back from the Sword Eater, which is why she wants to become strong and reach one of the top 7 spots in the 7 Stars Festival. That's the story. Now, you need to prepare yourself for your battle with her. Collision: the final blow. Indeed, the time for Iki's battle with Ayase arrives. The battle begins between them, and Ayase starts completely crushing Iki, who is unable to use his power. However, due to his movements and sword fighting style, he is able to dodge her blows and escape from her. Ayase keeps attacking him, and he keeps evading her. He is also trying to land any hit on her to end the battle, but he can't. He keeps making her try to hit him so he can escape her. His plan, which works like a charm, is to make her keep running after him and use all her power on him until she becomes very weak and unable to use her strength. This is exactly what happens. Iki seizes the opportunity and rushes towards her at full speed. He uses a technique from his sword fighting style and successfully lands a very powerful blow on her. Ayase tries to get up to kill him, but it's no use. She tells him, I haven't surrendered yet, but it's still no use. Iki finally succeeds in defeating her. Ayase starts crying. Iki tells her, Ayase, why didn't you ask for my help in the first place? I would have helped you and defeated that Sword Eater. Why did you do this to yourself? Aren't I your friend, my girl? Ayase cries and begs Iki, telling him, please, help me, Iki. Iki decides that he will help her. The next day, Iki takes Ayase and Stella, and they head towards Ayase's house, which is now the headquarters of the Sword Eater's gang. As they walk, Ayase talks about her father's past and her shock and heartache when her father was defeated by a dishonorable person like that. They finally arrive and meet some of the gang members. Iki asks them, where is your leader? They say, what's this? The crazy boy who smashed the bottle on his head is back. Go away, darling, so we don't have to beat you up. Iki then defeats all of them and goes in to meet the gang leader. He finally meets Sword Eater and tells him, look, man, I've come to beat you up and kill you on behalf of Ayatsuji, who is dying in the hospital, and to take back his house. Sword Eater says, are you drunk or something? The last time I saw you, you looked like a wet chick. Where did you get this audacity from? Look, frankly, I won't kill a weak boy like you. Iki then shows him that he defeated and crushed all of his gang that was standing outside. Sword Eater starts getting excited, pulls out his sword, which looks very powerful, and starts fighting Iki. An extremely legendary battle ensues between them, which is slightly tilted in favor of Sword Eater. They fight each other for a long time, with a blow here and a blow there, a kick right and a kick left, with some combat techniques. In the middle of the fight, Sword Eater stabs Iki in the stomach and wounds him, literally drawing an X on his stomach. But despite all of this, Iki is smiling and happy with the fight. Stella and Ayase are cheering Iki on and motivating him. After a very long battle, Iki succeeds, with the help of Ayatsuji's techniques and his combat experience, along with some power of friendship and encouragement, in finally defeating Sword Eater with a decisive blow. Our hero wins the battle. Ayase can't believe it and is very happy. Stella is happy with what her beloved did. As for Sword Eater, he stands up and asks Iki for his name. Iki tells him his name. Sword Eater says, all right, man, and walks away from the place. He tells him, remember that this is just the first battle between us so far, and there is more to come. Iki says, go on, find a new life away from us. That reminds me, you didn't tell me what you will do with the house. Sword Eater says, are you crazy, boy? You won, which means the house belongs to the Ayatsuji family now. The day ends with joy and beauty. House with garden, school trip and new adversaries. The next day arrives, and Iki is walking with Stella and receives very happy news. Ayase's father, Ayatsuji, has woken up from his coma and returned to normal. Honestly, sir, I don't know why you played dead for 2 years, acting like you were devastated by your defeat, and as soon as your house was returned, you woke up. I won't comment. The important thing is that Ayase is happy and pleased. The headmistress sends Iki and Stella on a school trip, just the two of them. Not only that, but she has also specified their accommodation and given them a wonderful vacation to the extent that Iki and Stella can't believe it, especially since they are alone. They head towards the place where they will stay for the vacation. As they approach the place, they encounter a shock. A group of student council members are standing in front of them. They all enter the house together. We find that the main reason the headmistress sent Iki and Stella to this place was to help the student council members clean the place, because they needed help, nothing more. Stella is very annoyed and frustrated because she thought she would be alone with Iki. They listen and clean the place. As soon as they finish, they say goodbye to the student council members and leave to go to the car that will take them home. However, halfway there, Stella starts feeling very sick and develops a high fever. With time, it keeps increasing to the point where she can't walk. Iki doesn't know what to do. They notice that a strange person is watching them. Iki finds a small wooden house, so he goes to it and lays Stella down. They rest together for a while until Iki starts feeling a slight earthquake. He goes out to see what's happening, but suddenly, he looks behind him and finds a small monster that is about to destroy the house where Stella is. Iki rushes at full speed, activating his power, and saves Stella. He pulls out his sword and attacks the monster. Iki defeats it with a single blow. But wait, everyone. It turns out that this monster has regenerative power. Not only that, but the parts that were hit create smaller copies of itself. Literally, every time Iki hits one of them, it creates more copies until Iki can no longer handle the sheer number of copies. Suddenly, the student council members appear and help them. They keep fighting the monsters with them, but it's no use. The student council members can't control the situation. Finally, a completely new character appears that we didn't know and suddenly attacks all these copies and defeats them with a single blow. We notice that these monsters are connected to someone who is controlling them. The girl comes up with a clever plan. By hitting these monsters, she will send a powerful blow to the person controlling them. This is exactly what happens, and she manages to defeat the person controlling all the copies. We find that this person and the boy who was watching Iki and Stella in the forest are working for a man whose face is literally deformed, and we can't tell his mouth from his nose. We will know the identity of this man later. High Voltage Shizuku's Battle and the 7 Stars. We go back to Iki and Stella, who are standing with the student council members. We learn that the strong girl who suddenly appeared is the student council president, Tuka. Iki knew her from last year and says that she is very, very strong and reached one of the 7 spots in the 7 Stars Festival last year. We go to Shizuku, Iki's sister, who is sitting, doing nothing. Suddenly, she receives a message. It turns out that her next battle is against Tuka, the student council president. Iki says, "May God protect us." The next day arrives, and Iki and his friends learn that his sister will face Tuka, the student council president. Iki keeps saying, "May God protect us." Nagi meets Shizuku before her battle and tells her that all her friends are cheering for her, especially her brother, and he tells her that they will support her until the last moment. He tells her, "Cheer up." Shizuku is happy with these words and tells him that she is determined to win. The time for the battle arrives. Iki is very worried about his sister, but he trusts her. The battle actually begins. Shizuku's power is very close to Tuka's, and an incredible battle ensues between them. They impress the audience watching. You are literally watching a battle between the power of water and the power of lightning. The battle continues with a blow here and a blow there, a kick right and a kick left, and hope begins to emerge that Shizuku will win. But who are we kidding? This is the student council president, a person who won one of the 7 spots last year, meaning infinite experience and power. Indeed, Tuka starts landing very powerful blows on Shizuku. Her friends are cheering her on, but unfortunately, after an impressive and wonderful battle, the power of lightning succeeds in defeating the power of water. Shizuku is defeated and passes out. Tuka wins. Shizuku is taken to the hospital. As soon as she wakes up, she finds her brother and friends sitting around her. She tells them, "What are you doing here? Get out." Iki stands up and tells Stella, "Come with me, but Nagi stays seated. Shizuku asks him, "Why didn't you leave with them?" She starts tearing up and crying, but Nagi runs to her and hugs her. He tells her, "You did your best and put on an impressive performance, and your brother was proud of you during the fight." She starts crying in Nagi's embrace. Ring the proposal. We go to the man whose face looks like dough, who is laughing like an idiot and seems to be up to something. The next day, Ikki is walking normally with Stella, but suddenly, romantic feelings start to increase, and Ikki kisses Stella. But at that moment, someone is photographing them. This person is the one who was watching them in the forest, and he also works for the man whose face looks like a box of polish. They are photographed without noticing. The next day, Ikki goes with Stella to an orphanage, and they are playing with the children, along with the student council members. They finish their emotional day, and as they are about to go home, Ikki's friends and sister suddenly appear and tell them, "Hurry." They are holding a newspaper. Ikki reads the headline and is shocked, as is Stella. They find that the picture of him kissing Stella has been published on the pages, and the headline reads, "The daughter of the world's richest family is dating the worst student in the combat school." Of course, this will affect her father's business, which is why the place starts filling up with journalists who want to know what's going on. Suddenly, a strange person enters the room with his car, and it's Aksa. Yes, everyone, that is the name of the man with no features. He tells Ikki to get in the car with him. It turns out that Aksa is the head of the ethics committee in Japan. Not only that, but it turns out that Ikki actually knows this man because he works with Ikki's father. Ikki realizes what will happen to him to prevent trouble, so he gets into the car with Aksa, leaving his friends behind. Aksa takes Ikki and the ethics committee, and the trial begins. We notice during the trial that Aksa literally doesn't want to listen to Ikki and just wants to pin the blame on him. Aksa informs Ikki that to continue his battles in his school's competition, he will hold his battles at the committee and will be under the supervision of his school's headmistress. Ikki goes to his confinement, and the worst days of his life begin, as if he is living in hell. We go to Stella, Shizuku, and Nagi, who are sitting and upset about Ikki. Suddenly, Stella says that everything that happened is because of her, and if she leaves, everything will be resolved. Shizuka then hits Stella with all her might and says, "Ikki is doing all of this for you and enduring all of this for you, and you want to leave him so easily. Shame on girls like you." Stella starts feeling guilty. We go to Ikki, whose life is miserable. His days consist of a competitor coming every few days and defeating him until Ikki starts getting very tired due to the mistreatment. He decides that he wants to meet his father because he feels like talking to someone close to him, even if he hates him. Aksa agrees to let him meet his father. Ikki goes to his father and enters like a little child. He keeps saying, "Look, Dad, what I'm doing at school. Look how much I've improved and how good I've become. I wish our relationship would improve, and you would know that I've become strong and will honor you." But Ikki's father shocks him and says words that truly break the heart. He tells him, "I don't consider you my son or anything. Since the day you were born, you haven't mattered to me. If you think that I will love you when you become strong, then forget it. I want you to know that I hate you for no reason, actually." Ikki starts crying, broken and shocked by his father's words. Ikki goes to his cell, looking miserable, until Aksa summons him. He tells him, "I have some news for you. First, your next opponent will be Tuka, the student council president. Second, you won't fight her here. Instead, you will fight her in your school's arena, and your battle will be broadcast on TV. Because if you lose, you will never be allowed to hold a sword again, and you will never hold another weapon again. I want you to know that this is your last battle, meaning the winner between the two of you will ascend and be one of the top 7 in the 7 Stars Festival. So, you need to pull yourself together a little." At the same time, Stella is also training for her final battle, and all her thoughts are focused on Ikki. Trophy, the victory and the future. The day of the finals arrives. Tuka meets Shizuku and asks her to tell her brother to withdraw because she won't give him a chance to win. Ikki's sister says, "Okay, I'll see about that." We go to the first battle of the finals day, which will be between Stella and someone we don't know. Let's forget about her and go to the school headmistress, who is sitting with the school teachers, watching the battle. They are talking about the battle that will take place between Ikki and Tuka until Aksa, whose face looks like a box of polish, suddenly enters. As soon as he sits with them, he says, "I heard there's a chance that Ikki and Tuka's battle will be cancelled." The headmistress asks him, "Why?" He says, because Iki hasn't arrived at the school yet. Suddenly, the school announcer says that if Iki does not arrive within 15 minutes, Tuka will win. Everyone starts suspecting Aksa, but Aksa says, "Stop suspecting me. I went to pick him up today, but I found that he left alone and beat me here." We go to Iki, who is literally walking like a slaughtered chicken, almost giving up from exhaustion. In the middle of feeling hopeless, he remembers the words of his teacher, Ryoma. But Iki falls down, only to find someone catching him in a hug, his sister, Shizuku. She starts crying as soon as she sees him and says, "Welcome back, brother." She tells him, "Please, Iki, don't go to this battle. Withdraw from it. Forget about this mess, because your body might actually die." Iki starts thinking about withdrawing until he finds all the students and people he knows and loves in the school standing in front of him, cheering him on and telling him that they are behind him and support him. And we find a shock. Stella is standing in front of him, holding her medal, which confirms that she won her battle and has officially qualified, becoming one of the 7 people. As soon as Iki sees this joyful sight, he stands up and says, "Withdraw? What was I about to do? I have all these people who love me, and I withdraw? That would be a disgrace to myself." Iki heads to the battle arena, with an incredible amount of excitement. The battle begins between Iki and the student council president, Tuka. Without any introductions, Tuka activates her power and pulls out her sword, and Iki does the same. They both use their strongest technique from the start and rush towards each other. Iki lands a very powerful blow, so strong that his body is literally bleeding as he lands the strike. After this very powerful blow, Tuka is defeated. Yes, the student council president is defeated. Iki, who is exhausted and about to pass out, raises his hand, declaring that he is the winner. Literally, the entire school is happy. We find a surprise. Sword Eater is sitting and watching the battle. When he sees that Iki won, he smiles and walks away. Suddenly, we find that Aksa is very angry, and his face is more swollen than it already is. Aksa, the fat man, goes down to the battle arena. At that moment, Iki is at his limit and feels like he's about to pass out, but he holds on because he wants to say something to Stella. We find that Stella is already coming to Iki and entering the arena to congratulate him on his victory. As she is on her way to him, we find that Aksa, whose face looks like a box of Polish, is going to hit Iki. Stella hits him and sends him flying. She goes to her beloved Iki and hugs him in front of everyone. Iki is very happy. Iki shocks Stella, the audience, and the whole world because he is on live broadcast. He says, "Look, Stella, will you accept, my beautiful girl, to be my wife, and we live happily ever after and have the sweetest boys and girls?" Stella gets extremely shy, but she is happy at the same time. She tells him, "Yes, absolutely, I agree to be your bride." Iki announces to the whole world that he loves Stella and no one can separate them. Stella and Iki kiss each other. Iki and Stella have ascended and taken 2 of the top 7 spots. We find a huge surprise. Nagi is also among the 7 people who won the 7 Stars Festival. I want you to know that they are not done yet, as they will still have a battle among these 7 later to determine the ranking and see who is the strongest and who is the weakest.
Don't forget to like the clip and subscribe to the channel. Regards.